Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Nice to see you both again. How are you doing? You okay?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful, thank you. I'm very excited for today's session. Just letting everybody in. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
Hello. Hello, Leo. I'm just waiting for one more person. Hello, Leo. Nice to see you again. Hello. Hello. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to say hello to you properly last time. I think it's just because you were a little bit late and I didn't want to stop the lesson. So I was all like, hello, but it's wonderful to see you. I hope you're doing very well. We're just going to wait for one more person and then we're going to get started. So thumbs up if you managed to get the paper and do a little bit of it at least. It's all right if you haven't. I just want to know where we are.
I did it really rushed.
That's okay. In the exam, you might be rushed, so that might be its own awkward kind of practice, I guess. What you're going to do if you do a question wrong by accident and then you realise and you're going to work really, really quickly. So that might be a test for you, Jaylin, in terms of how you are working under pressure. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, by the way? Is it Jaylin?
Well, it's called Jalin, but my name is called Jalin.
Jalin, thank you very much. So I didn't actually ask you and I should have done. I'm so excited to get started every single time. I've not actually. Okay, so how about you guys quietly read through the extract if you've got it in front of you, just to remind yourselves, just as we wait for one more person for one more minute and then we're just going to get started. And maybe you could check through some of your answers, Jalin, as well, if you thought that you were a bit rushed. And again, our star guest, Betsy Benny, today is making a lot of noise. So if you hear anything in the background from me, that's what that is. I said Betsy Bunny, my little Betsy, the little cute little bunny rabbit, she's making a lot of noise. If you can hear any noises from my side of the microphone, that's just what that noise is. I feel bad not saying, just in case you hear bizarre, odd, like, noises and things. You don't quite understand what's going on. Okay, so let's just get started then, shall we? Because I'm sure Daniel will just appear, or maybe his internet problems, and I don't want us just to delay the lesson any further. We've given him a couple of minutes, I'm sure he'll just dive straight on in. So guys, it's wonderful to see you all again. How have you all been? Have you had a wonderful week?
Yeah.
Good. I can't believe it's been a whole week since I last saw you. It's been a very long week, hasn't it? Yes, but the summer is coming, so do not worry. So let's just dive straight on in then to our practice. So when we get an extract or get our exam, what is the absolute very, very first thing that we have to do? Andrew?
Read what it wants you to do, how many minutes, how much time you've got.
Yes, because different exams ask for different things. Some people say composition and writing. Some people say composition, writing, composition. Some say composition, comprehension, and then another comprehension. So it's all very, very different. So when you're sat down in the exam, the front cover of the exam will be in front of you. In your head, you can write down, you can work out your timings. So say, for example, there's 3 sections and it's 1 hour and they say 20 minutes each. You know that if the exam starts at 9 o'clock, by 20 past 9, you are going to be expected to be moving on to the next bit. Then 9:40, the next one after that, and then 10 o'clock is when you're going to be finishing. Roughly. Obviously, you want to give yourself 5 minutes of reading time and 5 minutes of checking things over. So in reality, you probably got 15 minutes per section to make sure that you would be doing absolutely brilliantly okay. What do I always say you should do with the first 5 or 10 minutes? Jalin?
To read the passage once for excitement and once for to note down pieces of underline and annotate on the text.
Good. So sort of, I say once for enjoyment. You read it through once for enjoyment. You then read it through again for understanding, because you're going to be nervous in your exam, aren't you? Then you look at the questions, then you read it again. And it's the third reading where really you're going to be kind of beginning to find some of the answers. The reason why I absolutely insist, even at GCSE year 11 that I teach, I always insist that students do that, because what's going to happen if you read the questions first? Andrew?
So if you read the questions first and then you go back to the test, you might as well have forgotten the questions already.
Yes, and what else might you do as well? Samuel, what do you think? What might you do?
Make lots of mistakes.
Yes, you will, because if you read the questions first, the very first thing you're going to do when you start reading the passages, you're going to try and find the answers, which is great. But if one of the questions, the very last question at the end, because obviously you get asked different things throughout, the big question at the end usually is referring to the whole extract. And if you've been trying to find little pieces of information, you're not going to have understood the whole extract, are you? So you need to make sure that you read it through for enjoyment, for understanding, to show you've understood it, so that no matter what you ask, you know vaguely what's happening in the whole thing. Then the questions, and then you can read it through again, where you begin to find some of the answers anyway, and it'll consolidate your learning as well. I absolutely insist on students doing that, even from 11 plus all the way through to A level that I teach at a very prestigious school. It's one of my top tips, because without fail, whenever students haven't done that, they've not done as well. Okay, so make sure you got that written down somewhere. Now we're going to start off then. So again, a bit of Zoom etiquette. I can't always see all of you when I'm sharing my computer screen with you. So if you've got your hand up and I don't stop immediately, it's just because I haven't seen you. So just shout out at me, okay? Shout out if you've got a question, if you don't understand anything. If I'm talking, please don't talk over me, because it's hard over Zoom. Don't forget, your microphones need to be off. You can talk whenever you'd like to, but make sure you turn your microphones back off again when you do, just to avoid a bit of feedback. Sound good? Right, let's get started then. So you'll also learn I'm pretty bad with technology, so I'm just going to share this with you. There we go, James Allen English. Can you guys see that? Thumbs up if you can see it. Wonderful. So again, we read it once through for enjoyment. So you know your candidate number, you know that time allowed is 1 hour and 15 minutes. You go, oh, this one you got a comprehension, a composition, and then a comprehension again. Ooh, so 3 parts and 1 hour and 15. So I'd say that's 15 minutes for reading and checking through, and then 20 minutes on each section, which would work out when it says you should aim to spend no more than 25 minutes on each section. Yes, so I'm taking that 15 minutes off for reading things throughout, like a bit of extra time. And then I'm giving myself 20 minutes to answer and to create things. So that will help me on both comprehension times, won't it? I give myself 10 minutes for reading on each thing. Yeah, now obviously we're not going to do that today because it's a lesson, it's not an exam. But do you see how I'm working out my timings from the very beginning, before they even say turn the paper over? So second we get into that room, guys, I don't care if you, it's not, the exam is started, start writing. The second you walk in that room, it's game face, okay? Game face. Know exactly what's coming. So let's get started then. And you read everything. So comprehension, whale watching. Carry on, please, Andrew.
Read the following passage and answer.
There's aim to spend, you need to read every single word, because sometimes they give you context, sometimes they give you information, and you're going to be very, very nervous. That's why I'm drilling you to read every word.
Aim to spend no more than 25 minutes on this section. Read the following passage and answer the questions that follow. Welcome to Gansby in the Western Cape of South Africa, the whale-watching capital of the world. Of the 350 southern right whales that complete the epic migration from the Antarctic to South Africa's southern coast, up to 160 make Walker Bay in their home from June to December to carve and frolic in the bays. For visitors, it represents the most accessible and astounding land-based viewing as mothers, cows and bulls play and bathe amongst the protected bays, less than 50 meters from the rocky shoreline. But for those who have dreamed of getting really up close with personal with these 50-kilogram animals, they simply hop on board the regular boat trips with Dyer Island cruises.
Brilliant. Carry on, please, Leo.
By the time we left the bay and set a course for Dyer Island, the wind had picked up and a sizable swell was leaving 1 or 2 passengers a little green around the gills. But any discomfort we felt was very quickly forgotten when the first southern right whale loomed large on the starboard side. Excited cries of whale went up. But from my viewing point, I could see there were actually two enormous dark shadows shifting mechanically beneath the surface. Suddenly, two plumes of water were fired high into the air as if announced their arrival. The V-shaped plume of spray distinguished them from all other whales, explained that one of the guides on board. He surfaced a chorus of gasps before tail slapping the water and diving back below.
Brilliant. Carry on reading, please, Jalin.
It is hard to describe the colossal size of these animals. Imagine 6 elephants, then double that, and you're just about there. The pair we spent most of our time tracking were some 50 meters long. At first, the realization that dwarfed our boat was a little alarming, but they appeared entirely untroubled by our close company.
Excellent, thank you, guys. Now what do you do in the exam? Andrew?
Read the questions.
No, you read the extract again, yes, to make sure you've understood it. Then you read the questions, then you read the extract again. Now, we're not going to do that today because this is a lesson, not an exam, but get into the habit of doing that, please. So let's look then, let's work through our questions. So just going to share this with you. There we go. So remember, look at the little guy. He's just so cute. These are all the key skills that are assessed. So we've got information retrieval, skimming and scanning, summary, which means no quotes in your own words, inference and deduction, prior knowledge, context, analysis of language, and analysis of structure. So guys, we're not going to add to that. Those are all the skills that you could get asked in any combination in your exam. Just so you're aware that those are the skills we're learning, because this is a skills-based paper, okay? You could be given anything. So let's start then with our inference and deduction. If you looked at this picture, what could you infer from this picture? Andrew, what could you infer?
I can infer that the red car in the picture is really, really old, and it looks like it's just been through a machine that is specialized for mashing up old cars.
Good. So you could infer that the person is poor because it's an old car. You could infer that they're a bad driver because they've crashed it. What else could we infer? Samuel.
This old red car has been there for ages.
What makes you think that? There's still smoke coming off it.
Oh no.
So it's a new crash that just happened, yeah?
This car just had a car crash.
Excellent, well done. So it's just happened because there's still smoke. Brilliant. Leo.
There are two things that look like it might have happened to it. It looks like a wrecking ball must have smashed into it, or the driver didn't have a driving license.
Oh, possibly, yes, because clearly they didn't know how to drive well. Andrew, so what are you going to say?
This actually looks like it's quite new, because in the picture there's like a little white glint on the side that hasn't been crashed.
Yeah, so it looks like it's a brand new car, isn't it? So we're actually quite rich. So the rich, the younger person's looking car. Red, you can infer that they are quite adventurous, because red's a quite adventurous colour, isn't it? Samuel.
It kind of looks like it's been smashed by someone with a hammer, because it actually crashes. The crash came forward, so the forward had a lump, so the car's lights have been destroyed.
Yeah.
But there's also crashes on the side, like at the side window, where the driver sits, so it kind of looks like it's been smashed by someone.
Yeah, brilliant to get out. So guys, inferences are intelligent guesses we can make from the information that we've been given. It's not things we're told, it's things that we can intelligently guess based on clues. So what about this one then? What could you infer from this picture? I'll start you off. I can infer that it's autumn because of the leaves. Andrew, what can you infer?
I can infer that it's really windy with rain pounding on because there's her umbrella floating in the sky and there's a lot of leaves blowing around.
Brilliant, well done. Jalin?
I can infer that the place where the lady is walking, it was a serene place because as there's no other people and it's really quiet except for the wind.
Fantastic, well done. Leo?
I think you can tell it's a really bad storm because you can look at the trees in the background. It looks like as if they were just about to get pulled out of the ground.
Yeah, brilliant. And her umbrella's blown away, hasn't it? Brilliant. And last one, Samuel.
Maybe like it first started at there was no rain and wind because she's got no like skirts.
Fantastic.
She's got like shorts.
Yeah.
But then maybe a bad storm must have came, so she just quickly bought a waterproof coat and an umbrella.
Very possibly, yes, because she's got bare legs. Fantastic. That's what I was going to say. Another one, as you can infer, is that she's a happy person because she wears a lot of yellow, doesn't she? She wears lots of bright colours, so you can tell that she's quite a happy person. She really cares about her appearance because everything's colour coordinated, like her wellies and her bag. Andrew?
I can also tell that it's been raining for a little while now because it's got puddles on the floor. Brilliant,
well done. Jylen, what can you infer? Last one.
Oh, this person, as he said, it was a very flamboyant person.
Yeah.
Dressed in flamboyant colours.
Brilliant, very well done, guys. Right, the last one. What can you infer from this? Leah, what could you infer from this?
That person's an extremely happy person.
Brilliant, well done, Jylen.
It's her birthday.
Yes, because of the balloons and the range of colours of them. Fantastic. Samuel?
Smiling.
Maybe it's in the summer because she's wearing a t-shirt.
Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, good. Very well done. It's clearly a children's birthday party, isn't it? Because she's clearly a very, very young girl. So guys, do you see how we weren't told any of that stuff, but we can just guess it based on the information that we're given? That's called inference and deduction skills. Really well done. So these are the questions. Now you're going to have to guess a lot of it based on inferences and a lot of information that you're given. So the first one is explain in your own words. It means it's a summary question. It means no quotations, no stealing from the extract, please. So Jylen, it says line 2, but I've given you the overall context. So remember I told you, you look at the line, you read it, see if you can read around it and see if you can guess what epic migration is. Off you go.
Shall I read welcome to?
Yes, please.
Okay, welcome to Gansby in the Western Cape of South Africa, the whale-watching capital of the world. Of the 357 right whales that complete their epic migration from the Antarctic to South Africa's southern coast up to 116 make Walker Bay their home from June to December to calve and frolic in bays.
Excellent, guys. So what does it mean, epic migration? Of the 350 southern right whales that complete the epic migration from the Antarctic to South Africa's southern coast, up to 160 make Walker Bay their home. Samuel, what have you written? Remember, in your own words, no quotation, and tell me what epic migration means.
epic view.
What does epic mean?
A great,
Yeah, excellent.
wonderful view.
Okay, so it could be a view, but what are they actually doing? What are they doing between Antarctic and... Oh, Leo's very animated.
This migration is used in a lot of like Blue Planet. It uses migration
in relation to this extract. So what does it mean? If it says migration from the Antarctic to South Africa, what are they doing?
It means like they move house at a special time of year.
Excellent, very well done. Jylin, sorry.
It is a long distance travel.
Yes, you need to forget, so it's don't forget the word epic as well. So I've written, an epic migration means that a number of whales make a very large journey. In this case, it is between the Antarctic and South Africa. Yes. So so epic migration means very large journey, and that a number of whales could be a lot of whales as well. Yes, do you see what I've done there? I've explained what epic is, it's been migration, I've told you the context as well. And it's all in my own words. So guys, you can write this down if you'd like to as a model example. It's completely up to you. And I've explained it in my own words, haven't I? You right, Leo?
Yes. Migration isn't actually just for whales. Many other animals can migrate.
I know, but it has to be in the context of this extract, because you might be given a subject you don't know very much about, so you've got to make an intelligent guess. So you are absolutely right, but because it doesn't mention it in this extract, you can't say that, because it might give you something that you don't know anything about, and that would be really unfair on every candidate if they don't have prior knowledge. Okay, guys, I will send you this PowerPoint, so don't worry if you not get anything written down. But guys, give yourself 2 marks if you got that right. If you didn't get that right, you need to work on your inference and deduction skills. Okay, next question. When is the best time of year to see these whales? Now, I want everyone to start practicing this. I want you to review this yourself and do the raise hand emoji when you know the answer. Jylin's raised her hand. Leo and Andrew raise their hand. Samuel, can you find it? Okay, Jylin, what do you have?
I have June to December.
Brilliant, well done. So what's the best time of year to see the whales? You say the best time of year to see the whales is from June to December. The skill is just information retrieval. Very well done. Put your hands down, please, Leo. Thank you. So give yourself 1 mark if you got that one right. So straightforward question. Well done. 3. What 3 things can the whales be seen doing in the bay, in Walker Bay? So again, guys, this is straight information retrieval. So Jylin, do you want to read the extract again for me, please? Guys, when in doubt, always read the extract again. Off you go, Jylin.
Okay. Welcome to Jasnaby, in the Western Cape of South Africa, the whale watching capital of the world. Of the 350 southern right whales that complete the epic migration from Antarctic to South Africa, southern coast up to 160 make Walker Bay their home from June to December to calve and frolic in bays. For visitors, it represents the most accessible and astounding land-based viewing as mothers, calves, and bulls play and bathe among the protected bays less than 50 meters from the rocky shoreline. But for those who have dreamed of getting really up close and personal.
I'm going to stop you there because it does stop. So guys, 3 things, please, that you can see the whales doing. Leo, do you want to give me 1, please?
They bathe in the
What's happened there?
they bathe in the protected water there.
Yes, brilliant. They bathe. Good. What else? Oh goodness, what's going on here? Samuel?
As mothers, calves, and bulls play.
Brilliant. So they play, they bathe, Jalin?
Reading.
Reading?
Reading.
Reading?
Reading.
Yeah, so they carve, don't they? Good.
Yeah.
And frolic, that's the fourth one. So it's carve, frolic, play, and bathe. So you can have any of those four. My goodness, I said reading, like the whale breaks out its little book. Sits on a deck chair with the sunglasses. So yes, guys, the skill is straight information retrieval. So give yourself any of those four. Maximum of 3 is 3 marks, okay? So don't forget to tally them up as you go. And if you didn't get that one all right, remember, I'm not interested in how many you get right. I'm interested in the ones that you get wrong, because this is a skills-based paper. So if you got any wrong, that's completely fine. But your skill for this one, if you got it wrong, is information retrieval. It means you need to read it again and again and again. Okay, next one. 4. Samuel, can you read 4 for me, please? You're on mute, my dear. You're on mute.
By the time we left the bay and set a course for
Sorry, Sam, 2 seconds. Leo, you need to put yourself on mute because I'm getting feedback. Wait, 2 seconds. Wait for Leo. Great. Start again, please, Sam, with some passengers.
By the time we left the bay,
No. Read the question for me, please.
Some passengers on the boat were a little green around the gills. Line 10. This means that they are. By the time we left the bay and
that they were slightly envious of those on the shore. B, feeling like a fish out of water. C, feeling rather ill. D, unused to being at sea. So guys, a good trick for this one is to read the whole extract again, obviously. Information retrieval to see if you can guess what it is, and then you deduct, as in you rule out all the other options, just to be clear. So everyone put yourselves on mute, please, because I'm getting more feedback. Andrew, can you read the extract for me, please?
By the time we left the bay and set a course for Dyer Island, the wind had picked up and a sizable swell was leaving 1 or 2 passengers a little green around the gills.
Brilliant, stop there. So it says the sizable swell was leaving 1 or 2 passengers a little green around the gills. So the sea is impacting the people, yes? Slow. A, slightly envious of those on the shore. No, it can't be that one. It makes no sense. B, feeling like a fish out of water. Well, they're not out of their depth in any way, so that can't be right. C, feeling rather ill. That would make sense. So that's a yes. D, unused to being at sea. That is true. They're not used to being at sea, but that's not the question as to what green around the gills means. So it can't be D, because that makes no sense in terms of the question. So it has to be C, feeling rather ill. Does that make sense? Yeah. So guys, give yourself a mark if you got C. If you didn't get that right, that's okay. What you need to do is read the extract, look at the context, and then rule out, always rule out other options just to check through, even if you're convinced that you're right. Jalin, who are you talking to?
I was just talking to myself.
That's okay, that's fine, just as long as you're not distracted in any way. Brilliant, so guys, give yourself a mark if you got that one correct. Next, Leo, can you read the question for me, please?
When the writer feels the shape of whales in the water, what does he feel?
Options?
A, very excited. B, frightened. C, threatened. D, amazed.
Fantastic, well done. So guys, everybody please put your answer into the chat. A, B, C, or D. Go, 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 go. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Leo. We're waiting on Andrew and Samuel. Oh, everyone said B apart from Leo. Thank you. So guys, prove it. How do you know? Hand up, please. Where's the evidence? Jalen.
The evidence is two. I could see there were two enormous dark shadows shifting menacingly, and the word menacingly defines that that because it's like it just makes there is this dark feeling.
Excellent, well done. Because the question says when the writer first sees the shape of the two whales, so you found the exact right bit. Well done. He's not excited, he is frightened. You could say threatened, but there's no reference to that. He just sees the figures D and May, so the answer is definitely B. Very well done if you got that right. If you didn't, again, that's just checking it through, reading it and ruling out all the others. So guys, give yourself a mark if you got that one correct. Next one, 6. What is unique about the southern right whale? This one is straight information retrieval. Raise your hand when you think you've got the right answer on the emoji. So Andy's got his hand up. Jalen's got her hand up. Leah's got her hand up. Samuel, well done. Leo, what do you think?
I think it's that big. That's it. They're very big.
Yeah, good, it could be, but it has to be what is unique about them. Samuel, what do you think?
Maybe it's like I could see there were actually two enormous dark shadows shifting menacingly.
Okay, guys, from there, 4 lines up, it said, suddenly 2 plumes of water were fired high into air as if to announce their arrival. The V-shaped plume of spray distinguished them from all other whales, explained one of the guides on board. They surfaced to a chorus of gasps before tail slapping the water and diving back below. So guys, this is straight information retrieval. What is unique about them? Jalen? You're on mute.
It is B, because distinguish means to cover up.
B?
So, no, A. Because of large elephants.
You're talking about a different question, my dear. We're talking about number 6. Look at the screen.
Oh, wait.
Can you see what I'm sharing with you on the computer?
Oh, they're like, is this like?
Yeah, you're looking at this one, but no, it's this one.
I just realised I didn't do that.
That's okay. That's absolutely fine. So, guys, this one is Andrew. What have you got for this answer?
They have like a V-shaped plume of spray.
Fantastic. Very well done. It even says the V-shaped plume of spray distinguishes them and therefore makes them unique from other whales. Well done. So remember the V-shaped thing, 3 lines from the bottom and what you can see on this one. So guys, if you got that one wrong, that's absolutely fine, but it is straight information retrieval. If you've read the extract carefully, you've got no excuse for getting this one wrong. So if you did, that's okay. You just need to be sure next time that you read it through more clearly. And that will help you at the very beginning. When you know it's read it through for enjoyment, read it through for understanding, then the questions, then read it through again. Making sure you're taking every single sentence in and understanding all of it. You're not just reading it through because I told you to. Good. Give yourself 2 marks if you got that one right. If you didn't, that's okay. It's just straight information retrieval, as in reading it more carefully. Andrew, can you read this question for me, please?
I got a quick question for number
Great.
6. How do you get 1 mark?
It is, I'd have to look at the mark scheme. I think it's 1 mark if you can sort of say what it is. I think it's 2 if you can find the information very clearly and explain it in an answer.
Okay.
Good, thank you. 7, Andrew, can you read the question for me, please?
7. In the last paragraph, the writer is alarmed by the size of the whales because A. They are as large as elephants. B. They make those on the boat feel very small. C. They are too very near to the boat. Or D. They are a long way from the safety of the shore.
Brilliant, guys. Please put your answer into the chat for me. Brilliant. So most people have said A. Well done. You're right, it is A. They are as large as elephants, because it said it's hard to describe the colossal size of these animals. Imagine 6 elephants and double that, and you're just about there. The pair we spent most of our time tracking was some 15 meters long. At first, the realization that they dwarfed our boat was a little alarming. Ah, there you go. It's not A at all. At first, the realization that they dwarfed our boat was a little alarming, but they appeared entirely untroubled by our close company. So it's not that what alarmed them, it's not that they're as large as elephants. It's they make those in the boat feel very small. No, it's not B. They are very close to they are very near to the boat. It's not right. And they are a long way from the safety of the shore. That's not mentioned either. So then we go back to A, about the colossal size of them. The only thing about the size is A, therefore A is the correct answer. Does that make sense? So that was a really tricky question. I'm going to go through that with you again. When you check it through in the last paragraph, the writer is alarmed by the size of the whales. Why? You start off by saying they're as large as elephants, where you think that's not quite what it says. That's maybe. But then it says they make those on the boat feel very small. No, it's not B. They are very near to the boat, not mentioned. They are a long way from the safety of the shore, that's not referred to. So you go back to A, so it has to be A. Leo, you got your hand up. No, good, right, you got 1 mark for that one if you get it right. Brilliant. So that is the first bit of comprehension. There is another comprehension. But guys, should we go into writing skills as well? Yes? Yeah? So it's reading and writing. So guys, composition. We're not going to spend 25 minutes on this. We're going to go through the other composition as well. But I want to show you a few tricks. So composition. Aim to spend no more than 25 minutes on this section. Read this extract from Encounters with Animals by Gerald Durrell. Samuel, can you read the extract for me, please?
Keeping wild animals as pets, whether on an expedition or in your own home, can be a tedious, irritating, and frustrating business. But it can also give you a great deal of pleasure. Many people have asked me why I like animals, and I have always found it difficult questioning to answer. You might just ask me why I like eating, but an animal who likes you is sometimes a mixed blessing.
Brilliant, thank you. Imagine that this crow was your pet. Write a description of the mixed blessing of looking after it. You should avoid writing a whole story. So it's a description. So guys, there's 2 types of writing, isn't there? There's narrative writing and there's descriptive writing. Narrative writing is to tell a story. Descriptive writing is to describe something. So for example, to describe the bird, I could talk about its long beak, its beady eye, its elegant tail, its majestically standing on 2 feet. That's description. To tell a story, I would say the bird flew up and started pecking the little boy's eyes and he started to scream. That's a story, yes? We're after the description of it. And it's after using the first person, variety of vocabulary, using spelling, punctuation. And you should write no more than 2 paragraphs of description, okay? So that after you showing off in just 2 paragraphs of description. So it's the quality, not the quantity. So with that in mind then, I'd like you to find, so let's go into descriptive writing now. Let's forget the bird for a moment. Describe this person I'd like you to write down as much ambitious vocabulary as you can to describe this person. I'm going to give you 1 minute, off you go. Okay, ambitious vocabulary then, please. So your best word from everybody. And if you like another person's word, I want you to steal it. Samuel, you can start me off, please.
This evil lord with a half-rotten face and dry skin.
That's very powerful.
He wears a cover to not let people see his hideous, spine-chilling face. Anyone who ever sees his face will be tortured.
Oh, that's some very powerful words there. Well done. Jalin, one piece of ambitious vocabulary, please.
Wait, is it a sentence or a word?
Either. You can just give me a word if you'd like to. It's completely up to you. But Samuel, that was really good.
The years had not been extremely kind to him, as he worn a mask that covered with scars.
Brilliant, well done. Andrew, you can just give me one piece of ambitious vocabulary if you'd like to. This is very good, but you can just give me one piece of great vocabulary, like a word. Andrew?
Frail.
Fantastic, Leo.
Creepy and looks like a ghost almost.
Fantastic. And there's also words like malicious, drunken, crinkled, blood-covered, scarred, repugnant. Well done, Jalin. That's fantastic. So, guys, remember, describing a person is not telling a story. So you can use the zoom effect. If you're given a picture, you can do the zoom effect, where you can go to different parts of the picture. Still use similes, metaphors, imagery to describe a character. make sure that you don't tell a story about them. Focus on one part of them, like their voice, their hands, their face. Describe them or an action of taking care of them. Do not tell a story. So with that in mind then, guys, here's some ambitious vocabulary. What I'd like you to do, you don't have to use the thesaurus if you don't want to. I'd like these words: slim, old, worn, and kind. They're good, but they're pretty boring words. I'd like you to find at least one other better word for each of these. You've got 1 minute, off you go. You can look them up as well if you'd like to. So for example, instead of old, I would say vintage, ancient, antique. Off you go, guys. You've got 1 minute. Okay, Leo, what have you got?
For old, I have ancient, and worn, I have broken, kind, I have caring.
Fantastic. Andrew, what do you have?
For old, I've got elderly. For worn, I've got shabby. For kind, I've got friendly.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well done, Jalen. What do you have?
I have got for slim, I've got lean, delicate, flimsy. For old, frail, ancient, senior, mature. For worn, shabby, drained. And for kind, benevolent.
Brilliant. And Samuel, what do you have?
Old, I have which Andrew said elderly.
Good.
Worn, I have destroyed, and kind is good-natured.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well done. So guys, I know it sounds really silly me asking you to do ambitious vocabulary, but it's what I call missed opportunities. If you say old, worn, or kind, that's fine, but it's not really showing off in the exam, is it? And the examiner wants you to show off. So be mindful of making sure you make the best of all your opportunities. So with that in mind then, this is quite good, but we're going to read it through and we're going to see if there's anything else that we could change just to make it that little bit better. So who'd like to start me off with the first paragraph then? Andrew, off you go.
His face was as crumpled as paper, cracked horribly around his eyes and mouth, which made him look haggard and threatening. The angry scar that encircled his kind eyes were like glasses, though of no benefit. He could not see better with his scar, only attract attention.
Brilliant. Who'd like to carry on? Samuel, off you go.
The creases above his forehead and corner of his mouth reflected the years of suffering and faking a smile. His recent gash, cutting half his lip into a permanent upwards grimace, was the world's latest cruel joke.
Excellent. Jalen, carry on.
His face, his neck and chin fell in soft folds, giving him the overall appearance of an old toy doll which had been well loved in its past but forgotten now. He held his head up high like a swan, but his strength was gone, and every now and then his head wearily dropped onto his chest, as if he was weighed down with years of being looked at, mocked. His threadbare, ravaged hood offered some respite, but only some.
Brilliant, well done. So guys, this is very good. This is very, very good. This is top level sort of good. But we always have high expectations, or at least I do in my lessons. What I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to make just 3 changes. And I don't mean corrections, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's fantastic. But I want you to become more ambitious, make it more your own, put your own techniques into it. So I want you to make 3 changes. You can change vocabulary. You could add in a technique or a piece of description. You could take something out if you'd like to make it more concise. It's completely up to you, just as long as you are still describing. So guys, I'm going to give you 2 minutes just to make 3 changes. It could be to change a word. It could be to change a whole sentence. It's completely up to you. Off you go. Have some fun with it. Okay, 1 minute left. Leo, you finished? Okay, do you want to find one more thing? Make it as sophisticated as you can. Well done. Okay, so Leo, what do you have?
I have a line to replace his face with crumpled as paper. Instead, I wrote his face was like ripped and burnt paper.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well done. Andrew, what one change did you make?
I made the words active new joke in the second paragraph.
Oh, active, that's fantastic. You're absolutely right. Well done. Jalin? You on mute?
Okay, I was just finishing my sentence. The threatening, instead of the angry scar, that sentence, the threatening scar circled his narrowed eyes with a look of repugnance. And then instead of the creases above that sentence, the years had not been kind to him as he wore his mask of maliciousness like battle scars, and the next sentence of instead of his recent gash, the look of him would remind anyone throughout the day, creating flashbacks.
Fantastic. Well done. Samuel, what have you written?
For first paragraph, third line, I changed the angry scar to is scar fuming with rage that in his eyes. And
oh, very well done. So guys, straight away, do you see how we are just making it so much better? We're making it completely our own. Everyone put yourselves on mute, please. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Wonderful. Very, very well done. So that's descriptive writing. Do you see how it's all about description? There's no story. He's not doing anything. We're just describing his face. So the last bit then, guys, is make your writing more exciting. So this is the last trick I'm going to teach you for your exam, the writing bit. So we have to have a mixture of both. We do a lot of comprehension skills. It's just as important to do the writing skills, even though we spent a lot less time on it. So make these sentences more interesting by using similes, metaphors, personification, adjectives, and adverbs. The first one has been done for you. So I was very sad. Well, that's very interesting. But tears of sorrow streaked my face is so much more interesting. So guys, I'm going to give you 1 minute now to change. He was proud. The wind was strong. I was excited. It was a hot evening. Let's see if you can make that any better. Very quickly, so there's someone at my door. I'll be back in a moment. You've got 1 minute. Off you go. Okay, so Jalin, do you want to start off, please? He was proud.
Okay, so for he was proud, I said occasionally, or being a reason for pride, a proud moment when he received his certificate.
Fantastic. Andrew, what have you written for he was?
Can I see all of mine, please?
Oh, we're going through it bit by bit. So it's doing the he was proud for to begin with, but then we'll move on. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Oh, someone's trying to get in. Sorry, 2 seconds. Oops, what's going on here? Sorry, someone's just trying to get in, you see, so I need to, there we go, fantastic. Next one, please. Angie, what have you written?
Proud feelings emitted from him.
Excellent, fantastic. Leo?
Where are we?
He was proud.
Okay, he was proud. He stood up like a king.
Fantastic. And Samuel?
He absorbed all his impressness.
Brilliant, well done. The wind was strong, Jalin.
The wind howled as it swept away trees.
Oh, that's so much better. Great use of personification. Leo?
The wind could tear a tree in half.
Brilliant, another use of personification. Wonderful. Andrew?
The wind was screaming at me to persuade me to run.
Oh, great personification. So much stronger, isn't it, Samuel?
The wind battled the trees down.
Fantastic. I was excited. Jalin?
Tears of joy streamed down my face as I got the invitation.
Fantastic. Andrew?
I was jumping up and down and I couldn't stop myself.
Brilliant. Leo?
I couldn't control myself.
Fantastic. Samuel?
Excitement was about to burst out.
Oh, the great use of metaphor. Well done. And the last one, it was a hot evening. Jalin?
The sun glared menacingly.
Brilliant. Andrew?
The sun didn't want to go to bed.
Brilliant. Leo?
I woke up in a puddle of sweat.
Ooh, very graphic. I like that one. Samuel?
The sun roasted the earth.
Oh, wonderful. Guys, you've got some great use of simile, metaphor and personification here, which is fantastic. Do you see how much better and how much more interesting your writing is? Because these sentences aren't wrong. They're just what I call a wasted opportunity. You can make them so much more interesting. So guys, we looked at descriptive language, we've looked at ambitious vocabulary, we've looked at making your writing more exciting. So remember what our question was then about the crow being your pet. Yes, now we're not going to go through this because this is lesson time and you need to write this by yourselves, but do you see now the difference between narrative writing and descriptive writing? Yes, good. So when you come to write this, you'll know exactly what the examiner is looking for. Wonderful. So the next one, guys, is we go back to comprehension, don't we? Wonderful. So we've done our 2 paragraphs, no more than 2 paragraphs of showing off with our description. Now we go back to our comprehension. So same thing again, guys. You read it through for enjoyment. You read it through for understanding. Look at the questions and you read it through again. So I think Leo's gone somewhere. That's okay. Sometimes we all need to quickly just pop off. Samuel, would you like to start reading with the first paragraph, please?
When Quill was only comprehension. King Gannet aimed to spend no more than 25 minutes on this section. Read the following passage and answer the question that followed. When Quill was only halfway up the rock face, King Gannet gave a shriek and rose to his full height, wings wide and flapping, orchestrating chaos. 5,000 birds took off. Quill held perfectly still, though the damage seemed done. The lookout bird teetered, hopped, and took off, shrieking, "Intruder!" Close by Quill's head, a clutch of puffins burst from a crevice in the cliff face, like little fireballs being lobbed at him, but Quill did not recoil. He did not flex a muscle, just clung steadfastly to the cliff, chiefly because he could not think that what else to do. He turned his face downwards to shield it from puffins' beaks, and so saw what had roused King Gannet.
King Gannet, brilliant. Jalid, carry on.
A gare fowl.
Great. Samuel, you've got to put yourself on mute, my dear. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Thank you very much. It's all right. It happens to everybody. Jalin, carry on.
It must have mistakenly swung ashore below the wrong colony and strayed into Gannet territory while looking for its own kind. Being flightless, it could not extricate itself quickly, only clear a path with its massive beak and bulk. Delightedly, Quill watched the comical tottering majesty of the sea witch, 1 minute standing waist deep in Gannet, the next standing solitary and bewildered as every last Gannet took off. It alone had triggered the panic. And as it soon plodded its way onwards, its big webbed feet, the Gannets would finish circling and settle back down.
Great. Andrew, carry on.
Are we on the Quill thing?
Yeah, quick took the opportunity.
Okay. Quill took the opportunity while the scintille bird was away from his perch to clamber as far as the ledge that ran across beneath the finger of rock. He inched across the ledge, even began to climb the pinnacle, but heard the flapping of huge wings above him, froze to the stillness of a stone statue. Patiently he waited, though his fingers lost their feeling and the sunflies droned around his hands and hair. The gannets circled, then sank down, 100 at a time. King Gannet stood at full stretch, flapping his wings, all fussy self-important. Then he settled back down onto his throne, shoulders hunched, and peered down at the host returning to their roosts.
Brilliant. Very well done. So, guys, what do we do now? Andrew?
So, in the real exam, you read it again.
Good. And then you read the questions, and then you would read it again. But we're not doing that today. We will do a practice like that closer to your exam, just to give you a practice. So the first time you're not doing it is not in the actual exam. That's very important. But that is not today, because we're still learning, aren't we? So, question 1. This is straight information retrieval and deduction. Why do you think King Gannet is flapping his wings in line 2? A, he's warning the Gannets about Quill. B, he wants to bring chaos to the colony. C, he is stretching in order to show off. D, he's warning the Gannets about another bird. Everyone, quick, put your answers into the chat. A, B, C, or D.
I don't really understand the text.
That's okay. Thank you for letting me know. So, when Quill, that's a boy.
No. Oh, because I thought Quill was a bird.
It could be a bird, but then when he's
Because
standing
he
on the head.
says his hands and hair.
Yeah, his hands, not claws.
So which one is it?
So Quill is a boy who's climbing up a rock face, and he's observing all the birds and how they interact with each other. But it doesn't matter if you don't know that, because it's lots of inference. So why do you think King Gannet's flapping his wings in line 2? Guys, can you put your answer in the chat, please? A, B, C, or D?
Before I did.
Good. D, B, A, A, A. So everyone said A. You're absolutely right. He's warning the gannets about Quill. So that's what King Gannet is doing. He gave a shriek and rose to his full height, wings wide and flapping, orchestrating chaos. 5,000 birds took off and Quill held perfectly still. So that's exactly what he's doing. Andrew, you okay? You're flapping your wings like King Gannet did. Okay, that's all right then. So guys, 1 mark, please, if you got that one right. Very well done. 2. Explain the meaning of the simile which describes the puffins bursting out from a crevice like little fireballs being lobbed at him. So I've shown you the crevice, that's the puffins, and they're like fireballs. What's the simile, Leo?
It's showing that the birds are going and flying at him as if they were fireballs, trying to knock him off the cliff.
Yes, very well done. Look at the connotations of fireballs as well, being lobbed at him. So it shows that they're carelessly just attacking him. Fireballs are dangerous. They're explosive. So Quill's clearly in a lot of danger. Jylin.
Well, wait, for question 1, I did a typo. It was actually A.
That's okay. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry. You're marking yourself. Don't worry.
For 2, it means there are so many puffins like come so really fast, like in the speed of light.
Yeah.
Like puffins, their beak is red, right? So it kind of relates.
Fantastic. Well done. And Samuel, what have you said?
It's describing that they are charging at Quill full speed, pointing their sharp beaks at him.
Fantastic. Yes, good. So guys, you need to compare the puffins to the sense of danger, don't you? Which you've all done, so that's 2 marks. Very well done. Give yourself 2 marks for that. But Quill did not recoil. He did not flex a muscle, just clung steadfastly to the cliff. Using your own words, explain the meaning of each of the 3 words in bold as they are used in paragraph 1. So, very quickly, guys, who'd like to read out their answer for me? Jalen.
Okay, so recoil means to spring or shrink back in fear or disgust. Flex means to move.
Oh, I'm getting some feedback. Everyone turn your microphones off apart from Jalen.
Should I do this again?
2 seconds, I can't quite hear you. There we go. So just carry on with flex.
Okay, flex means to move a muscle so that it bends a joint, and steadfastly is not changing in your attitude or aims.
Excellent, well done. So guys, I will send you this paragraph to you, as I will the PowerPoint to you, including this paragraph. So don't feel you've got to write it all down. I've said that's 3 marks, very well done. So it's 1 mark for getting it right. So I've said recoil, it means that Quill did not flinch or move away. Flex, it means that Quill did not tense his muscles or struggle in any way. Steadfastly, it means to be constant and strong and to be resolute in what he's doing. He does not move. So anything along those lines is still 3 marks. Very well done. Moving on then. 4. Andrew, can you read 4 for me, please?
Please can I go to the toilet?
Of course you can. Samuel, do you want to read question 4 for me, please, and the options?
Being flightless, it could not extricate itself quickly. Line 2. This means that because the gairfowl was unable to fly, it could not. Options are A, flap its wings, B, move, C, feed, D, escape.
Good. So guys, with this one, you can look at the context and you can do a guess. Another good one for changing a word is to replace the word in the sentence and see if it makes sense. So, being flightless, it could not flap its wings quickly, but that makes no sense because being flightless doesn't mean that you've got no wings, it means you can't fly, so that makes no sense. Being flightless, it could not move itself quickly. Well, it can still move even if it's flightless, so that makes no sense. Being flightless, it could not feed itself quickly. Well, being flightless and feeding doesn't really make much sense. Being flightless, it cannot escape quickly. That makes sense. Then you read the context and you realise that that works quickly in terms of them having to escape from Quill, and you realise that makes complete sense. So the answer is D, escape. Yes, another way of doing it is to read the context, like I've shown you before, and to see what fits well. But bearing in mind that that's asking you for a meaning rather than an inference. Well, it is a little bit of an inference. That's a good way of doing that one, okay? So guys, give yourself a mark if you got D. If not, the skill I want you to learn is substitution, is in replacing the words, okay? Wonderful. 5. Look again at lines 10 to 12 and explain using your own words, or short phrase, the meaning of tottering, solitary, and bewildered. So, would have looked at this one already, but what's another word for tottering, please, Andrew?
Another word for tottering is swaying.
Yes, using your own words. What's the meaning of tottering? Sorry.
Meaning is walking in a way that you might look like you will fall over at any second.
Excellent. Well done. Tottering is to walk uncertainly, like you're hobbling along. Great. Solitary. What does solitary mean? Samuel.
Does it mean like you're solid in that area? You are strong.
Close. Let's have a quick look. Where can anyone find the word solitary in this? Look at lines 10 to 12. Jalin. The next line, solitary and bewildered. So it shows that he's alone, isn't he? He was alone and bewildered. So that would make sense. Because what's happening is Quill watched the conference, so that all 5,000 birds are taken off. Delightedly, Quill watched the comical tottering majesty of the sea witch, 1 minute standing waist deep in gannets, the next standing solitary and bewildered. So he's laughing that the sea witch has come along and scared away 5,000 birds, and she just stood there alone, solitary and bewildered and confused. So it means that she's alone. Bewildered. What could bewildered mean? Leo?
Does it mean confused?
Yes, very well done. She's solitary and confused as every last gannet taken off. So it's emphasizing that she is quite comical, isn't it? That's how we know that that's what that means. Brilliant, well done. So guys, give yourself 3 marks if you got that one correct. That again is your inference and deduction skill. 6. The phrase sentinel bird in line 14 tells you that the bird is A, the wisest one, B, an observer, C, missing, D, the largest. So guys, you read line 14. So Leo, can you read the opening of this, please?
Will took the opportunity while the sentinel bird was away from his perch to climb as far as the ledge that ran along behind the finger of rock.
Brilliant, stop right there, fantastic. So Quill took the opportunity while the sentinel bird was away from it. So the sentinel bird has gone and Quill's taking the opportunity to run in, yes? So what do you think the job of the sentinel bird is then if it's gone and Quill feels the need to then come on in? Samuel?
Maybe it's the wisest one because its job made to like be when should you attack and.
But that's Quill being wise, isn't it? I mean, I understand your inference, well done, but that's Quill being wise. The bird, the sentinel bird, is away from its perch. True, 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 true. And Quill being wise is coming in. So what was the job of the bird that's gone, do you think? If when he's gone, Quill can then come in. Jalin?
B, an observer.
Brilliant, well done. It's almost like he's a god, isn't it? So if the sentinel bird, the observing bird, was away, that means that Quill can come in because the observing bird is gone. He's not going to observe Quill, is he? Well done. So guys, the answer is B. Very well done. It's not C because its job isn't to be missing. And D there's no reference to the size of the bird, so it has to be B. There's also no reference to being wise. So apart from quill, but that's not the bird, so it has to be B. Give yourself a mark if you got that one correct. Sorry, I'm just seeing how many questions there were. We're going to run out of time, but that's okay. Whoever drew that, can you please get rid of it?
I think you did it. When you
Thank you. No, that's fine. So guys, I'll send you the PowerPoint notes, so don't worry, okay? I'll just go through all the answers for you. We've still got 7 minutes, so that's all right. Select the 2 verbs in paragraph 4, which suggest that moving across the rock face is difficult for Quill. So this is paragraph 4, and 2 verbs are doing words. So that's a bit of prior knowledge, isn't it? You need to know your language techniques before you come to this exam. So Q can find 2 doing words as in action words. That suggests that it was difficult for Quill to move across the rock face. Andrew?
The first one should be clamber.
Brilliant. And the second one?
Is climb.
You what, sorry?
Climb.
It has to show that it's difficult to move across it. So climbing is a verb, but it's not the one that shows it's difficult for him. So I say clamber and inched. He inched along the ledge, like going inch by inch by inch. Andrew?
Yeah?
You got your hand up? Oh, sorry, you pressed it by accident. So yes, guys, the answer is clambered and inched. Brilliant, well done. The next one. Samuel, can you read the question for me, please, with the options?
Will began to climb the pinnacle. That means that he climbed the A, face of the cliff, B, the precipice, C, the summit, D, the sharp side.
Brilliant, guys. Can you please put your answer A, B, C, or D into the chat for me? Okay, got one answer so far. Anyone else?
I thought I did one. Leah and me did one.
Huh?
No. Leah. Me.
I've got one person responding.
Who?
Put it into the chat for me, please. A, B, C, or D?
I already did.
You're right, Jalin.
Pardon?
You're talking. You're right.
Yeah, I just said I already did one.
Brilliant. So guys, I've got A, B, and B, right? Everyone's wrong. So Quill began to climb to the pinnacle. Now he's already gone along the side, hasn't he? So it can't be the face of the cliff because he's already done that. The precipice has already been discussed, so it can't be that either. D, the sharp side, there is no reference to a sharp side. So the pinnacle, it must mean the summit, which is the top bit. That's what a pinnacle means. So it's a synonym. So it could be prior knowledge, you know that pinnacle is the summit. But also as well, if you look here, it says, King that stood at the foot of but then settled on his throne. Where's it gone? He inched and inched and even began to climb the pinnacle. But hearing the flapping of huge wings above him, froze at the stillness of a stone statue. Patiently, he waited through his fingers, lost their feeling of the summer drone around it. So, guys, it's just the chronology of the story. He's already done the face of the cliff. He's already done the precipice, which is the bit that goes down into it. We know that from the story. The summit is the top of it. So the answer is C. D, the sharp side. There is no reference to a sharp side. So the answer has to be C. Okay? Well done if you got that one correct. It's a really hard question, that, guys. That's lots of inference and deduction and reading the story carefully. 9. The summit flies droned around his hands and hair. Explain the meaning of the word in bold precisely using your own words. So the summer flies droned around his hands and hair. Jalin, what do you think that means?
Droned means to circle somebody and to make an annoying sound.
Excellent, very well done, fantastic, great inference and deduction. And the last question, find and write out 2 amusing details about King Gannett's appearance or behaviour in lines 18 to 20 and explain in what ways they are amusing. So Leo, can you read lines 18 to 20 for me, please?
The Gannet circle then sank down 100 at a time. King Gannet stood at full stretch, flapping his wings, all fussy, self-important. He settled back, his throne, shoulders hunched, and peered down at the host, returning to their room.
Excellent, guys. 2 things that are amusing, and tell me why they're amusing. Andrew, you got your hand up.
One is, so the first one is fussy, because you really can't expect a bird to be as clever as a human and be really fussy about how he looks.
Brilliant, good. That's 1. Number 2.
And then shoulders. I think another one should be shoulders hunched, because it looks really funny. It looks funny, its appearance is funny, and you still wouldn't expect that for a bird.
Brilliant, well done. Jalin, what have you got?
I have got flapping his wings, all fussy and self-important. This creates a very amusing,
Yeah, good. About Andrew already said.
Because usually only humans feel fussy or self-important, and then for shoulders hunched and peered down, it's also amusing because you don't really get a bird that hunches their back, do you?
Yeah, brilliant. Well done. I think Andrew's already said both of those, but you're absolutely right. Very, very well done. So guys, well done for today. You should all now know what your targets are. So remember, I told you at the very beginning, I'm not interested in how many you get right. I'm interested in what your targets are, okay? Because it's an unseen paper. Okay, so guys, very well done. I'm gonna have this PowerPoint sent out to you with all the answers and things and the helpful tips. So if you missed anything, you can just go through it again in your own time. And I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye. Well done.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye. See you next week.